Um, I did make a couple of videos yesterday, and I'm gonna make another one today. This is a reply to Brodes, who spoke about, everything that we spoke about yesterday. Ben moving to the 4, Shake Milton at the 1, and Brodes brought up some interesting points, some interesting other takes, and I just wanted to adjust a lot. A lot of it will be in chronological order. Some of it will not be, just off the top of my head. So the first and primary thing I think I want to get to is Shake Milton, and the whole thing that Brett spoke about, where it's like, oh, it's not like we had Paul, not like we had Lillard. Shake Milton was playing well early in the year. He was playing primarily wingman, but he was getting you 8 points a game on 40% 3-point shooting. He was really getting into that rotation, and he was really looking well. And then Shake went down with the injury, and then Korkmaz had his revelation, and then we were like, now we'll just put Milton to the curb. Now, early on, Elton Brand signed Shake Milton to the 4-year contract because he was looking awesome in the G League, and he was really looking like this combo guard that we now know him to be. But then when he was in the summer league, being asked to really be that one, and it did not look well at all. Not at all. So everyone, Brett, me, anyone who saw that, we were basically on a pause and say, okay, maybe he's more of a primary scorer than a playmaker. But I think that in reality, what that really means is that, just like we say, it's summer league, it's random ball, it's disorganized. I think that we needed to take a step back and say, just because Shake Milton did not succeed in a chaotic environment where you only have J.R. Smith and Matisse Thybulle, that doesn't mean that Shake can't succeed with NBA regulars. And by the way, I actually want to adjust that because one of Brode's points is that we've never seen Shake with Ben. So if you watch my Ben Simmons video, you'll actually see that Shake has shared some possessions with Ben Simmons. But to a larger point in the Clipper game, he was sharing the minutes with Tobias Harris. Mike Scott's the pro. Al Horford's the pro. So it's not like Shake Milton could not perform on an NBA stage against an NBA opponent. And then particularly, and BB have the same mindset. So I actually want to break this down. This idea that if you're 21, 22, 23, or 24, whatever, that means that you're not going to be able to play at an NBA level. It's just, no. If that were the case, why do we draft players? Now, so, and this is my big thing, and the biggest, gripe that I have with what Brodes have said, and BB has said things similar. Why do we have draft picks at that point? If that's the belief, if that's the mindset, then there's no reason to have a draft pick in the first round or second round. After all, there are players coming out of college. We don't know if they'll succeed in the NBA. No, you don't. But that's why you develop them. I thought we hired you as a player development coach, right? That was your big selling point. That you are a player development coach. So a player development coach has to play these young players, point out where they mess up, and help them get better as players. That is what it means to get these young players. Because when you draft a player, you're not drafting them. It's not like you fast forward to them being 25 or 26. That's 4 or 5 years of NBA experience. It's not like you can randomly sit them on the bench. This isn't some Aaron Rodgers sit behind Brett Favre and then you could be in a quarterback. It's not like that. If you put them on the bench, they're being paid a salary. A small salary as a draft pick, but still a salary. You're expecting them to contribute to your team. And in fact, they have. Matisse has been a big part of your regular season rotation, and so is Shake. So the idea that, oh my God, they're 24, 25, or 23, that means all of a sudden they can't play basketball? That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it defeats the purpose. The purpose of having draft picks is also insulting the scouts. Where it's like, oh, I don't know if it can translate. So when we scout Shake Milton, we tell you he's a 6'6" combo guard. He can shoot on and off the ball. Historic SMU to the NBA, 40% 3-point shooter. He could get to the rim. He's not the greatest finisher, in terms of getting contact. I think that might develop more touches as he gets along. But he's more of this finesse type of guard. But still, he can get in the paint, he can make plays, and he can score. And he can pass the ball. He's a good passer. I think the Shake Milton can develop into a Mo Williams type of player. That's not a huge leap. Oh, and this gets to the other thing too. Since we did talk about Mo Williams, I want to talk about something else. When it comes to Ben Simmons, one of Brodes' main argument is that, basically agreeing with Brett Brown's argument that it worked because Ben Simmons made the All-Star game at the point guard. My thoughts on Ben Simmons as a point guard, and I briefly made this point in my Ben Simmons video, but I'll make this point more elaborately here. I think that Ben Simmons is a cute point guard. I think it's cute. He gets 16 points a game, he gets 8 rebounds a game, he gets 7 assists a game. Yeah, it's cute. He has a cute little stat line, and they can vote him in to the All-Star game. What a Rondo, Oscar Robertson type of... It's cute, right? It's cute. But this year, we saw him put up 2 30-point games, and we saw him as a dominant role man. See the difference? He's okay. He's an all-star. That's solid. He's a Hall of Fame power forward. Do you see that Ben is better as a ball player at a position that fits his strength? So yes, he can make do with the point guard. He can be an all-star. Who gives a shit? I mean, would he rather have an all-star career or all-fame career? Would he rather win NBA championships or exit out the second round every year? So yes, he can be a point guard. He can be above average at it. He can't be the best of what he is at it. The guy who shoots 72% from 8 feet from the rim is just not an NBA point guard. So yes, he gives 8 assists a game. He passes well. But that's not the end-all, be-all to the point guard spot. And it's not like, Bo said his assists will go down. I don't think so. Because Ben will get the ball in triple threat position. And Ben is so quick that it takes 1 or 2 steps. Instead of him being out 30 feet at the top of the key, now he's 17 feet. And Brodes actually pointed out the wall. So I'm glad that there's another fan who knows about the wall and understands the wall defensive concept that Brad Stevens employed. You're not going to be able to do the wall from the triple post threat from 17, 20 feet from the rim, and here's why. The wall is basically where the secondary defender cheats off of his man. And basically, you can kind of be in this middle. If Ben drives, I cut off the driving lane. If Ben doesn't drive, or if, Aaron Baines or Al Horford had his man, I could stick to J.J. Redick, Marco Bellinelli. I can seal off the shoot. I can seal off the catch-and-shoot situation. That only really works because Ben Simmons does not have a great dribble drive game. Ben Simmons is not a, I can slip past the defense sort of thing. Ben Simmons has a good handle for a guard. He has a great handle for a forward. I think that Ben as a forward is going to be able to take every 4-man off a dribble. Where Brodes talked about how spread 4s these days. Spread 4 doesn't mean just spread, shooting a 3-point shot. It means being able to put the ball on the floor and turn people in the rim. So there are non-3-point shooting spread 4s. Lamar Odom is the example I gave. The modern-day Blake Griffin is another example. And I'm going to show my age here. Antoine Jamison. Thaddeus Young. You're 6'8", you can put the ball on the floor. In Antoine Jamison's case, he had a killer mid-range game. Go look back at Antoine Jamison. If you want to know what Ben Simmons could become in the future, go and look at Antoine Jamison. And he was a very good basketball player in his prime. But the difference between Ben and Antoine is that Ben is an elite super passer, and from this triple post threat, The paint is basically opened up, and the corners are opened up, so he's still going to hit corners. He's still going to lead the league in hitting corners for threes. The difference now is that you're not going to be able to rotate so quickly to the shooter because they're not cheating off and forming the wall. If you do try and send an extra defender inside the paint, the corner shooters are open. Are you going to send it from Joel, man? That's a dunk every time for Joel. He is literally going to be, and it's great for Joel. When you have Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons, and Shake Milton in the lineup, Joel Embiid will have more. Why do you think the Brett Brown said Joel Embiid looks like a monster in practice? It isn't, there's a difference in the game. They have more ball handlers on the floor. So now Joel Embiid doesn't have to create everything himself. That's been a frustration, really, for me ever since Joel Embiid came into the league, where we would throw in the post-entry pass, and then it's like the basic post-entry is where sometimes, if you don't get good post position, you kick it out and then you reset. Every time Joel Embiid would kick it out, they would not reset. They would go somewhere else. It's like, why? You have to throw the entry pass back in. Why are you redirecting the ball to the other side of the court? And that's why Joel Embiid got to a point where like, I'm not going to bother with all this deep post entry when I'm not going to get the ball back. So now that you got Shake Milton and Josh Richardson and Ben Simmons, you got more than enough passing so that Joel Embiid, he could duck to the rim, he can establish the post, the ball will enter in, and bam, a dunk every time. So it's not that this is going to take away from Joel's game. This is going to add to it a lot. Because he has a roll man who can pass, or Ben can throw it over the top and Joel can catch it and finish it. Because Shake can shoot, Tobias can shoot, Josh can shoot. Floor spacing, and a four-man who can attack off the dribble. The offense is going to look so much better now. With spacing and with passing. And with ball handling. That's really the great strength of moving Ben here. It isn't going to compromise anybody offensively. Everyone has more space now. Because Shake Milton is a career 40% three-point shooter who can handle the ball. Ben Simmons is a great pick-and-roll guy because of his ability to pass. That's what's unique about Ben. When Ben gets this ball out of pick-and-roll, it's different. It's actually, look at how Al Horford in that same pick-and-roll situation, which we didn't run it enough. But look at Al Horford in that same situation, and Al Horford gives you the same thing that Ben's going to be able to do. I can pass it, or I can attack the rim, because I'm at that mid-range area. And Ben is going to be able to do the same things. So I don't see this as a problem at all for Joel. I see this as a blessing for Joel Embiid. It is really going to open up Joel Embiid's game because he does not have to do everything anymore. It's not, oh my God, no one is open, so I got to put the ball on the floor. Oh my God, I have to stand 30 feet from the 3-point line. That's done. You added a 40% three-point shooter to your lineup. Now Joel Embiid doesn't have to stand outside of 30 feet anymore. That is done. That is done. That's the biggest benefit. Basically, and I said this a bit in the Ben, I said this in the Ben video, and I'm going to say it now. Ben Simmons was always meant to be a power forward, Brodes. He was born to play power forward. He was born to be an off-ball passer, cutter, screener. He was born to do that. Because basically, to me, Ben in LSU, there were certainly a lot of games. But the game that opened up my eyes to how good Ben Simmons is going to be, it was this game against North Texas. Ben Simmons put up only 4 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. That's not normal. How do you rebound that much and pass that much and have that impact on the game? Ben's ability to impact the game without scoring is incredible. Ben at power forward breaks all of the rules. You're not supposed to be that quick, that fast, that big. You're not supposed to be able to be this versatile defender 1 through 4. But Ben is. So let's talk about why Ben was at point guard. Okay, yes, he didn't have a Dame, he didn't have a Paul. I argue you could put TJ McConnell there. You didn't want to do it. Okay, fine. Putting Ben at the 1 initially gave you a side advantage. Ben is taller than other guards. But when I want you to go and look back at the tape, Brodes, that wasn't happening anymore. With the wall, the Celtics put a big, and then they said, you have the foot speed to guard Ben Simmons. It's not the sag, because if it were just sagging, like Ben said, I could just take advantage of that space. While they do give a cushion, when Ben drives into that cushion, Al Horford is there to meet him at the rim. So it's not the same thing as a sag. The wall is, I'm going to cut you off from your driving lane because you can't shoot the basketball. It's not a sag. It's not Mondo. Because if Mondo gets into the paint, Mondo, the big man, is taller than Rondo and can block his shot. So it's like some in the middle, but we help defenders to keep this locked up. So it's not the same thing as the wall. Now, what other teams have done is, okay, we may not have the personnel to trap the perimeter like the Celtics were able to do, and like the Raptors could do. So what we're going to do is we're going to match you up with a big wing, and we're going to match you up with a forward. We're going to match you up with more physicality. Because Ben, like I said, does not have a shake and bake to his perimeter game. Ben Simmons is not going to be on a shake I-lead tape, to put it that simple. The only team in the NBA that guards Ben with a guard these days is Nate McMillan in the Indiana Pacers. Nate McMillan is the only coach in the NBA who still doesn't get it to put a wing or a big on Ben Simmons. So de facto, defensively, this has already happened, Brodes. Teams are guarding Ben like a 4 that can handle the ball already. And they have been since the last year and a half. What this does for the Sixers now is the Sixers can adjust to that reality and get an extra ball handler in. So we were already at that stage. We just needed Brett to recognize that reality on Earth that he's a 4 and not a 1. Magic Johnson came into the NBA where the three-point shot not only was irregular, he also came into an NBA where I just said that you put a big on Ben Simmons. How many bigs do you think could guard Magic Johnson? Why do you think Magic Johnson was able to play center and put up a 40-10 in Game 6 of the Finals and clinched that for the Lakers? It was Game 7, actually. Game 6, they lost, and Wilt was injured, or Kareem was injured, and then Magic came and was the center and won the championship for the Lakers. Why do you think Magic was able to do that? Because the NBA wasn't as big or as skilled or as athletic as we know it to be today. I don't think Magic Johnson could be a full-time point guard in today's NBA. I'm sorry, Magic. You are a Hall of Famer, but I don't think Prime you could be a point guard in today's NBA. Because Magic did not have, until later in his career, Magic developed the isolation skills to be able to score and to be able to facilitate that space. Basically, like I said, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid need space. Ben Simmons is not able to create space with his dribble yet. He might be able to. He's only 23, so he might be able to develop his skill in time, and he might be able to become as a Hall of Fame point guard like he's a Hall of Fame power forward in time. But right now, he's just a good point guard and a Hall of Fame power forward. To me, he's a Hall of Fame power forward and just a pretty good point guard. So this is great for Ben. It's great for Ben, and it's great for the team. It's great for Joel. And I just want to defend this idea that young players can perform at an NBA level, can perform in June. Because you're drafting them to be a part of your team. And if you don't believe the young player can perform in June, then he's never going to. You're never going to put him in the rotation because he's never been there before. But he has to be on the floor. You have to play them so that they develop that point in time. And now that Shake Milton is starting, I feel like Brett Brown's starting to understand this. Just because a young player is young doesn't mean they're not skilled. Skill matters. Basketball is a talent sport. It's not the oldest players win. Sure, there's something to be said for experience, knowing what the defense is doing here, knowing what they're doing there. There's certainly a value to that. But the NBA, as a principle, as a league, first and foremost, is a talent league. Either you are good at this or you are not. The players who are good at this are able to get rotation minutes and succeed no matter what their age. The players who are bad or who suck, Spencer Hawes, Jonah Bowden, Ron Neto, whether these guys are 20 or 30, they just fucking suck. And they're not able to get rotation minutes.
Maybe this guy was high-key faded, right?
And that's why they're not in your rotation. So, example, Northern Powell. I like Northern Powell. I like his shot pocket, but he's not ready, so he's not going to be in Orlando. And that is the nature of it. Either you're good or you're not. Ryan Brokoff, all he can do is spot up shoot. I don't expect him to get minutes because he's not good enough. It is a talent league, and if you're not good enough to play basketball, you should not be getting minutes. That's why I hated when Markelle Fultz was starting 2 years ago. I was like, stop it, he's not starting caliber. So it went the other way too. It was a young player that you would like to think could develop. I would have liked to bring him off the bench. I didn't think he was a good starter.
You saw him, especially his
and that's my main point to Brodes and Brown. You can play young players and develop young players in spots that they are good enough. If they're good enough to start, they're good enough to start. If they're good enough to come off the bench, they're good enough to come off the bench. Their age does not preclude their ability to contribute on the court.
121.
Their skill should be the determining factor of that. If they're good, they play. If they're bad, they suck. That's my stand on it. So this is 6 Universe. Like and subscribe. I got a video clip that I've been working on. That should be released later tonight. And it'll go into more of this in-depth coaching thing. It will go in-depth into certain offensive sets and what I would like to see us run. And just going more into detail about all this. So, check out for more content, and I'll see you next time.